Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. This is your brother Matazabath, and I wanted to do a response to this lesson that the beloved elder Karat Tazat out in Vegas, GMS Vegas sit down, 144K, subscribe and be edified. And Salakia, elder, if I mispronounce your Hebrew name. But I sat on this video for about a day or so. And it's very alarming because this is more evident proof that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, is letting it be known who are the real men of the Lord. And as the scripture says, you shall know them by their fruits. Now, in this lesson, you have here this individual on the screen who goes by the name of General Yohana, all right, which, for those of you who don't know, he was one of the men, all right, back then in the School of One West, along with the beloved Apostle Tahar and them. He was around them. Now, I don't know if he was directly under Apostle Tahar. One of you brothers can correct me. And if you want to put that information on the comment board, you know, for others to know, the water for that. But I do know that he was around back then. All right. So he, you know, he's definitely an elder in the game, that is, in terms of preaching this truth. But nevertheless, once upon a time, all right, he being under the elders then, like High Priest Ariah and them, all right, he was teaching, you know, the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which they still go into. However, all right, it's been stated, all right, from our apostles on down that they have reasons to believe, all right, that he's taken the bag, all right, along with other brothers, all right, that stem out of One West when it was broken up, when the school was broken up. And since then, all right, he's changed his doctrine. And not only changing his doctrine, he's also is trimming his way to seek love. All right. And what you will notice a lot with these individuals is when it comes to our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Jake has a tendency of appealing to the crowd. All right. Because we're living in a time where evil is waxing worse and worse. If you say anything that's out of pocket, all right, in this soft era, you will have what they call, you will be deemed cancel culture or culture cancel, whatever it is, the term that they want to use for it. I don't know. The point of the matter is this. We're living in a time where you have Israelites from, you know, different camps, different sects, whatever. They are changing the doctrine to try to soothe the ears of those that listen unto them, just so that they can keep their following. All right. And if you're doing that, Salakia for that. If you're doing that, you're messing. That's like playing with fire with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because the scripture says, all right, let's get this precept here, that we're not supposed to keep our sword back from blood. All right, because this truth is likened unto a sword. Matter of fact, we'll start off with that before we get into the video. But this is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. All right. And so when the scriptures talk about put on the whole armor, all right, of the Most High, so that we can withstand the wiles of the devil, all right, part of that armor is this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. All right. And the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is likened unto a sword, a two-edged sword. All right. And to build off of that, this is Jeremiah 48 and 10. Okay, because if you're caught out there keeping this sword, okay, back whilst doing the Lord's work, man, preaching and prophesying, okay, this is what the scripture says. Jeremiah chapter 48 and verse 10, it says, "Cursed be he that doeth the work of Yahweh deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood." Okay. And what's one way of keeping your sword back from blood? You tiptoeing around the topic at hand and you're not breaking it down. Or as the scripture says, rightly dividing the word of truth. Let's grab that. All right. This is Salakia. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." What does it mean, rightly divide the word of truth? To rightly divide the word of truth is prior upon you studying, okay, based off you studying and getting all of the things, all right, through the measure of faith that's been given unto you to do this work, all right. One, you shouldn't be ashamed, because if you had as it says in Acts 17 chapter, the spirit of the church Berea, those things that was preached upon them from Paul, all right, and the other apostle with him during that time, those people in the church of Berea, the scriptures tells you that they searched those things that was taught onto them to find out if whether those things were true or not. Because when you study, all right, and you go into, the breakdowns, the understanding, the root etymology of words, okay, you won't be put to shame or anything, man, because you will be rooted in the faith, all right, because you've came up under the tutelage, man. And when you rightly divide the word of truth, okay, you're breaking it down, man. All right. As the scriptures teach us, precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right. But what you're about to see here in this video, okay, this is what happens when you appeal, all right, to the people, all right, instead of remaining humble and being sincere. Let's take a listen.
Earlier, you clarified on that precept in Deuteronomy. He said, "Is this referring to grape, which is how they say rape in TikTok?"
No, this is not referring to assault on a woman. That's not referring to that. Read the part that makes him think that. I remember that years ago. There was a ton of fake Israelite groups and Christians that believed that there was a lawful way to assault a woman. Right. That if you assaulted her, you could marry her because you assaulted her. Even though, of course, they don't actually do it. I'll show you what they don't do. All right, read the precept one more time.
Oh God, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 28. "If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed."
So this is a woman who doesn't belong to another man. No one, she's not promised to anyone. You understand? She's single. She's not promised to anyone at all. Keep going.
"And lay hold on her."
And do what?
And lay hold on her.
And do what?
And lay hold on her.
Boy, so many Israelite groups and Christians read that word "lay hold," and they thought that meant you could snatch her up at the bus stop. Throw her in the van.
Damn.
That's what when they heard "lay hold," that's what they believed. They believe lay hold. You mean strangle? That's the same thing, right?
Nah,
you sure?
I don't think so.
That's what. Okay. They think lay hold me. Bitch, come get in that van. Get in the van. No, that disciple of Christ. That's not lay hold. You see, this is a book written by blacks and Latinos, and we speak in slang, right? And so, laying hold of a woman is what words do you use for that down here?
Game, sir.
That's game. You see, you game does not mean you actually roll dice with the woman. Right? Or play Monopoly with her.
Right.
I think the kids in Philly.
So he's saying that in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, dealing with a woman who is not betrothed, meaning she is not promised to anyone or engaged to another man, all right, that if she be found in the field and a man laid hold on her, all right, according to our time now, that's the same way of saying in 2024 that if a man be found around her, he's just spitting game to her. And see, this is why we read in 2 Timothy 2:15 to study to show thyself approved. So without getting too deep into it, because you can watch the elder's lesson, all right, and as always, it was edifying. But let's visit that precept. Deuteronomy 22:28, it says, if a man find a damsel, okay, that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and laid hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. Now, to General Yohanes' point, when it says lay hold on her, that's another way of saying that street talk for spitting game, but not understanding when you actually go into the concordance and you have to look up, because remember, the scriptures were translated. All right. So let's look up this phrase, and laid hold of her.
Strong's H 8610. Tafas. Tafas.
Okay. So it says here to catch, to handle, lay hold, to hold of, to seize or siege, to lay hold of, seize, arrest. All right. Just like if you get pulled over and you're detained, you're under arrest, you've been, laid hold of, man. It says catch, to grasp in order to wield, use skillfully, to be seized, be arrested, be caught, be taken, captured. Now, notice he said here, let's take it back a little bit. Watch this.
They believe lay hold. You mean strangle? That's the same thing, right?
Nah,
You sure?
I don't think so.
That's what they're okay. They think lay hold me. Bitch, come get in that van. Get in the van.
Now, notice how he shook his hands there, right? He used his hands. Well, when you go into it, see, to catch or grasp with hands. And see, the scriptures speak about false prophets, false teachers. Okay, not rightly dividing the word of truth, man. Now, in the Strong's definition, it goes on to say, okay, i.e. to seize, chiefly to capture, will, specifically to overlay, figuratively to use unwarrantably, okay, unwarrantably, all right. Let's look that up. I actually never looked this up before. Not able to be authorized or sanctioned, unjustifiable, and unwarrantable intrusion into personal matters, man. So here it is. You go up to a female and let's say she didn't ask you of anything. She didn't ask for your permission to come up and speak to her or whatever. So you unwarrantable just went up to her and you had your way with her. You humbled her without her permission. You didn't go up to her to speak game. Okay, no, you took that. That's what it means. To catch, handle, okay, to take, right? Let's see what else they got here. All right, to lay hold of, siege with the hand. Well, accusative of person, arrest, catch. Come on, man. Says here, siege Israel, accusative by the that Hebrew letter, their heart terrorized them. To siege, do violence to the name accusative of my power. And let's see what else they got here. But I think the point has been made. All right. Now here in the Gesenius lexicon, it says to take hold on anyone or anything, hence to take men in war, as an example, to take hold of the name of Yahweh, i.e. to do violence to the name of the Most High by perjury. Let's see here. And it's just giving you an examples. All right. Now, what's interesting, all right, because you ain't got to go that deep in it, but when you read the very next chapter, it says, then the man, verse 29, not next chapter, next verse, Salakia. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. Now, if you read this in a different translation, all right, it says, suppose a man has intercourse with a young woman who is a virgin but is not engaged to be married. If they are discovered, he must pay her father 50 pieces of silver. Then he must marry the young woman because he violated her. And he may never divorce her as long as he lives. A man must not marry his father's former wife, for this would violate his father. But let's go into violated her. All right, which in the King James Version would be humbled. All right. Or actually, no, here it is. He has violated her. Okay.
Strong's H 6031. Anah. Anah.
All right. It says outline biblical usage: to be occupied, be busied with, to afflict, oppress, humble, be afflicted, be bowed down, man. Okay. Mishandle. What do you think that means? Humiliated. So you ain't speaking game to someone, man. No, how do you humble somebody? Let's look at the Strong's definition. It says through the idea of looking down or browbeating. Okay, to depress literally or figuratively, transitive or intransitive. It says as follows: abase, self-afflict. All right. Chasten self, deal hardly with, defile, exercise force, gentleness, humble, self-hurt, ravish. Okay, let's look up ravish. Okay. Ravish. It says siege and carry off someone by force. You ain't asking her, you're taking it. That's what it meant in the King James Version, to lay hold of. But listen to the second sentence. It says dated of a man, grape a woman. Yes. That's what that means. That's what the word ravish means, man. An angry father who suspects that his daughter has been ravished. You see? Now, because we took the time to go through that, all right, let's go back to see what he stated.
No, that's disciple of Christ. That's not. You see, this is a book written by blacks and Latinos, and we speak in slang, right? And so, laying hold of a woman is, what words do you use for that down here?
Game, sir.
That's game. You see, you game is not mean you actually roll dice with the woman. Right, play Monopoly with her.
Right.
I think the kids in Philly, they call it booking a woman, or is that DC? Riz, what is that?
Riz. It's like that's an offshoot of charisma. I raised the
Oh, that's nice. Riz. So what do you call getting a woman's phone number? A woman saying, yes, I'll go on a date with you, or yes, I'll, come see you. Bagging a woman. Now, I'm assuming that's a rough one.
And you see how he's trying to trim his way to seek love, man. And that's really what he's doing. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Okay, because see, if really you ashamed of the gospel, man, you're ashamed of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Jeremiah 2:33, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Okay? Because in the same token, or in on one end of the stick, notice how he went around it by saying, oh, today it's in reference of, spitting game to a woman. But we just read that you're taking it by force. She's being ravished unwarrantably. Right? But it also says you're not only trimming your way to seek love by what? You're watering down the scriptures. Because majority, I believe, just like IUIC, based off what I've seen, I'm speaking as a man for myself, they have a lot of women that follow them as a camp. So what happens when you have a lot of appeal coming from women that are following you? You will have to water down your doctrine. So much so that you start to shine away from the true sound doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's the reason why here, in Great Millstone, all right, beginning with the apostles and elders on down, they don't like us because we don't sugarcoat shit over here, man. We give it to you raw and unedited, man. We're not here for people's feelings. The scripture says in Isaiah, the 58th chapter, cry aloud and spare none. Show my people their transgressions. How do you show somebody the transgressions, man? Hey, the scripture says whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Seek ye out of the book and read. And this is the problem with our people, man. Like my man Jack Nicholson said, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, man. That's how it really be in our with our nation of people, man. But check this out. So at the same time, General Yohana is not only trimming his way to seek love, but he's also, okay, therefore, as it says here, hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. And you are going around, sir, teaching people how to be fucking wicked. And here's Exhibit A. Let's play this clip. This is 2 years ago. Now, brief introduction. Listen to what he gave in terms of if he were to counsel Will Smith back when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, the comedian. Watch what he said.
Chris Rock should do. This would be my counsel to him. Chris Rock cannot beat Will Smith in a fight, more than likely. Will Smith trains for action movies, and he's probably well trained with all kinds of martial arts and fighting styles and guns. But if he truly wants revenge, and Chris Rock must get revenge in the spirit of Christ, he has to do it, or else he won't be a man. Let me tell you what my counsel, if Chris Rock was a man under my supervision, this is what I would counsel him to do. This is the only way Will Smith would understand. Chris Rock cannot fight him. Chris Rock cannot assault him. But you know what Chris Rock can do? Chris Rock can fuck his wife. And that's what he should do.
Did you hear that? Let me take it back. Maybe you didn't hear it.
Man. Let me tell you what my counsel, if Chris Rock was a man under my supervision, this is what I would counsel him to do. This is the only way Will Smith would understand. Chris Rock cannot fight him. Chris Rock cannot assault him. But you know what Chris Rock can do? Chris Rock can fuck his wife. And that's what he should do.
Now, here it is. You're coming in the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and you're calling yourselves the true men of the Lord, telling people that ISUPK is the only camp that has the truth, but yet you're not teaching our people to put a difference between the profane and the holy. And yet you stand here 2 years ago and say that if you were to counsel Will Smith to get payback on another fellow Israelite brethren, that the best thing to do in that situation, based off what Chris Rock said about his wife on stage, is that Will Smith should go in retaliation and F Chris Rock's wife. Really? Let's go back to Jeremiah 2:33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Right? And so the scriptures tells us in Romans the 12th chapter, verse 17, to recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. And if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Verse 21, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Now, the scripture says in Ephesians also, all right, let's see here. I think it's Ephesians 6. Or actually, no, Ephesians 4. I always get that mixed up. Ephesians 4 and verse 26. Because, yeah, you can make the argument based off the situation. Will Smith was mad at Chris Rock, right? But it says here in Ephesians 4 and 26, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. You don't go and tell another man to sleep with another man's wife, because the scriptures tells you for a man that does that, right? Proverbs 6 and 32, but whosoever committed adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul, man. That's not wise. But here it is. You're telling, if I was to cancel Will Smith, I would tell him to go and F Chris Rock's wife. But hey, this is who y'all listen to. And then y'all get upset at us over here at Great Millstone, okay, beginning with the apostles and elders on down, because when we do videos like this, okay, all right, it's really to look, the scripture says this, man. All right, let me just let the scripture speak, man. All right, 2 Timothy 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. It says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. All right. And we know Job 12 and what's that, 12 and 16, I think. It says the deceive and the deceiver are his, man. All right. It says verse 14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of. And I would like to, if I was in front of General Yohano, I would ask him, when you were under the tutelage of High Priest Ariah, all right, and the rest of the elders during your time, okay, were those the same teachings that they have assured you of, to tell your fellow brethren that to seek retribution, okay, the best plan of action will be to go and sleep with that man's wife? That's what I would want to know. But anyway, it goes on to say, knowing whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Hamashiach Yahushai. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. That's not righteous to tell somebody else to seek retaliation by go and sleeping with their wife, man. So you instruct those in righteousness so that that man of the Most High may be what? Perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Sleeping with another man's wife is not a good work. Come on, man. You know, so we're going to close it out and I'm going to get this here, wrap up Romans 16 and 17. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses, Salakia, contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Because what you preaching, okay, you tiptoeing around the scriptures, man. And Yahweh Shah said, blessed is he, whoever is not offended in me, man. But this is who you Israelites, you know, you could see, you don't really understand what you are a part of, man. But hey, like I said before, as the scripture said, the deceive and the deceiver are his. So I'm going to end it off at that. Giving all praise, glory, and honor be to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, better known as GMS, who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the tabernacle of David. I'm your brother Matazabat. Lord's will, this was edifying. And so on to the next. Shalom.